if you're not sure of how to communicate your submissive desires with your significant other or others, by the end of this video, you'll have 3 of my favorite ways and steps in which you can do so in a way that's authentic and awesome for you. Don't forget to hit the bell below to be notified when I post new videos every Wednesday. Oh, and hello, I'm Veronica Jans of DesiresLaidBare.com, where my favoriteest thing, is that even a word? My most favorite thing to do in the whole wide world is to help people become their most confident and badass selves through exploring kink and BDSM. And I've helped hundreds of people begin their kink journey in a way that feels really good and authentic to them. So, it's your turn. All right, let's get this going. Step number 1, write down and journal your thoughts around being submissive. I know. Journaling isn't the most sexiest thing in the world, especially given what we've seen in mainstream media like 50 Shades of Grey or in other romance types of books. But as we all know, journaling has its benefits. It's enormous benefits, and in kink, it is no different. The first step to being able to communicate with your significant other about your submissive desires is understanding that for yourself. Can you explain your submissive desires to yourself? If you can't explain your submissive desires to yourself, how on earth are you going to be able to explain it to someone else? So journal. What is it about your submissive desires that makes your heart flutter? What is it about kink or BDSM or dominance and submission that gets you all hot and bothered in a really, really good way? Write these things down. By journaling and being clear in your thoughts, you'll be able to tell your significant other and have a really, really awesome conversation about why this is important to you, rather than just springing it onto them and be like, hey, I want to be a submissive, so go be my dom. Because that doesn't work. All right, number 2. Understand where in your life or relationship your submissive desires are already showing up. When you want to communicate something as new, possibly, and vulnerable as asking your partner to be more dominant to you, it can be earth-shattering. I'm not joking, because this could come out of nowhere. And by understanding where these thoughts are already showing up in your relationship, especially when it comes to interacting with your significant other, it doesn't make this concept so foreign. Because dominance and submission is a concept that a lot of people may not know anything about, especially when you put those 2 words together. And when you know nothing, everything scares you. So gather examples in your life and write them down in your journal to show where this is already showing up in your life, so that it's not such a foreign concept to your significant other when you start to have that conversation with them. Oh, I have a question for you. How did you know that you had submissive tendencies and desires? Did you watch it in a movie somewhere, or did you read it in a book, or did someone tell you? Comment below, because I really, really want to know. Step number 3, have the talk. Yeah, really, if this is something that you want to explore, there is no reason why you should be sitting on it and waiting and waiting. I'm sure you've waited long enough, so it's time to take action. And I know, it can get scary, but it's time. Be loving, be understanding, be gentle, but most importantly, be you. Like I said earlier, when someone, like your significant other, knows nothing about a topic, everything will scare them. Their first instinct is going to be going on the defensive to protect themselves and also to protect you. And when someone goes on the defensive like this, it doesn't bode well. Trust me on this. I've had failed conversations with my previous partners when they went on the defensive. So take it from somebody who's been there and failed. And to be honest, you know yourself the best, and you also know your significant other the best. So approach it in a way that makes it feel good for the both of you. Approach it in a way that feels comfortable and loving and reassuring to the both of you, because you're putting yourself out there too. It's not just about them, it's also about you. And remember, take it slow. There's no need to rush. If you word vomit, yes, I've done this too. If you just go on a rampage and word vomit and tell them everything that you've wanted to do for so long in like a span of 10 minutes, they're going to get overwhelmed. They're going to shut down even further. They might not even be open to this because you're just surprising them and throwing it all out at them at once. So no rush. Nothing has to happen after the first conversation. It may take 2, 3, 4, 5 conversations. So be prepared, be empathetic, be compassionate. Know that this is not something that is so easy for everybody, especially when you're asking this of them, because they could have their own personal insecurities and stigmas and stereotypes and beliefs surrounding this that may not be necessarily true, but it's what they're living with. So be understanding with that. Don't forget to check out my other video where I spill the beans on what it's really like to live a dominant and submissive relationship that Hollywood, mainstream media, and other fiction romance novels don't tell you about. Now you know my 3 favorite steps on how to communicate your submissive desires with your partner in a way that feels really, really good to not only you, but to your partner. And in case you need a little more help, I've created a quiz and guide that tells you exactly what your communication style is that's most effective for your personality and your relationship, so that when you communicate your kinky and submissive desires, everybody wins. And the link is below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up by liking it below. And if it's helped you, or if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I want nothing more than to be able to help you communicate your submissive desires, because as a submissive myself, this is a part of my life that I cannot live without. It is so satisfying and it just makes me feel whole. It's so hard to explain sometimes because I feel all the good feels, and I want that for you, so don't hesitate. We'll talk. Just tell me what it is that's on your mind. Leave them in the comments below, and don't hesitate to share this with your friends who you think might need this as well.